because you only want to allocate your time and your resources towards what's real. I only want to work with people that want or need my help because my time is super valuable. That's the mindset you want to have as a seller. Hey there, it's Ian Koniak, and today I'm going to share the RGA that you can do to close at 62%. In other words, 62% of your deals will get to closed yes if you do this one thing. This is an RGA that I've never talked about before. I always said previously that if you have two RGAs, they are creation of pipeline and advancing of pipeline. But today I want to share a third RGA, which I think is even more important than the other two. And it's a reason why almost every deal stalls or doesn't close. And that is really, really simple. The third RGA is this: Requalify pipeline. So we have creation of pipeline, which is your prospecting, advancing of pipeline, which is moving the deals forward. But if deals are not closing or advancing, or if you're getting ghosted, we need to requalify those deals. And in today's video, I'm going to share what that looks like. Before I do, I just want to share why this is so important. It's because there is an artificial pipeline inflation going on right now where people have pressure to build pipeline and they put in garbage. And you might have 10 or 15 or 20 opportunities, but they're not real opportunities. And because of that, the close ratio goes way down. I don't know about you, but I'm not in the business of making stuff up. If I'm going to put something in my pipeline, I want to know it's real, because if I'm only closing 20% of my pipeline, that looks really bad. In top performers, the top 20% of sales performers are closing at 62% of the pipeline. Now, to be fair, this stat, 62%, is for deals that reach the proposal stage. And so if you have something in your pipeline that's just sitting parked for Q3 or Q4, and you're not requalifying it, or you're not actually advancing it, but it's just parked there, you're missing the boat. Your pipeline is artificially inflated and you don't have a good grasp on your business. So for me, I only want real deals in my pipeline. So how do you requalify the deals? Well, it's really, really simple, okay? Number one is you need to make sure that you are working with power. You need an executive sponsor in your deals. If you have a deal that you have somebody that's interested, they're collecting information, you're doing demos, but they don't have the authority to buy, and they're not actually getting you in front of power, you are wasting your time. You can't sell to somebody who can't say yes. So the sooner you get engaged with executives or decision makers in your account, right, the sooner your pipeline is real, because they could have a big problem at the lower level, but if it's not perceived as a problem for their executives or decision makers, they're not going to fund it. So why would you go and spend all this time going down a sales cycle unless you have that executive sponsorship up front to proceed, unless you know it's important and aligned to the priorities and goals of the executives who are actually going to buy and fund the project? Just doesn't make sense. So that's one way to requalify, is to make sure you're getting access to power and that you've confirmed with the decision makers that this is indeed something that they are going to want to invest in, or at the very least explore and let you have access to the data, the information, the people, and the systems that you need to be able to work towards a proposal, which is number two. You're working towards a proposal. You have a clear date set aside to come to their company and present to the decision makers a readout or a report of your findings, a proposal, whatever you want to call it. You're coming back and you're actually working towards pricing. I have a meeting next week with the CEO of a company that we're doing a training proposal for, or coaching proposal for their team. And it's on the calendar. We're communicating in between, and it's all working towards that date. You've got to be working towards a proposal, okay? And you also need to make sure that it is a priority. If it's not a priority, they're going to push it. They're going to stall. You're going to do all this work, and it's going to be seen as a nice to have versus a must have. Now, if you need help helping clients see why this should be a priority when it's at the bottom of the list, watch another video, which I will link to at the end, which is called the 4 P's of qualifying, and I really get into how to help clients see something as a priority. But the key and the big takeaway, okay, is that they have some type of pain that they're in. If they're not in pain, why would they go through the effort of changing? Okay? Pain is often something that they don't call pain. It could be a bottleneck or a constraint or some problem that's preventing them from accomplishing their goals. That is what we're looking for. We're looking for something that we can help them remove as a constraint or a pain that's preventing them from achieving their goals. So we want to know what their goals are, what their priorities are, and then we want to understand what problems and what pain and what constraints are getting in the way of them achieving their goals. This is all the stuff that we need to find out if we're going to keep a deal in our pipeline, because I only want to work with people who want and need my help, not those who I'm trying to convince they need my help. That's the key, right? If you want to actually close 62% of your deals, you need to work with people who are interested and engaged in getting your help and are willing to be open and share and communicate with you to give you the information and access to what you need to deliver a proposal. And a proposal has many components, but it's got to have pricing. It's got to have an implementation plan. It should have some type of architecture or technical fit that you can show, or some customized demo or proof of concept, right? There's a lot that has to happen. And if they're not willing to walk on that path with you, they're not serious. They're not serious about working with you if they're not going to let you talk to their people and get their metrics that are important and look at their systems. Because how are you supposed to propose the right licenses and give them an implementation plan if they're not giving you access to understand their current state? They're not serious if they're not giving you that access. And again, when you get to power and you get sponsorship, that's how you know they're serious. If you're not at power, all these things you're going to ask for in terms of understanding their current costs or understanding their current system, your people, if you're lower level, aren't going to be able to remove the barriers to get that information for you. They're just not. You're not going to get that from an analyst or a director or a project manager, right? If you're at a lower level, someone who's evaluating stuff, they're not going to get you access to what you need to deliver a proposal and to get them pricing, okay? So this is the step. Go through every one of your deals and requalify. You're way better off having 7 deals that are moving, that are real, that have power, priority, and pain, and are following your process than you are having 15 or 20 deals that are not real, because you only want to allocate your time and your resources towards what's real. I only want to work with people that want or need my help, because my time is super valuable. That's the mindset you want to have as a seller. So don't be afraid to ask the hard questions. Don't be afraid to requalify. This is the #1 RGA that you need to do if you want to increase your deal closing rate to 62%. Make sure you're working with the right clients that want and need your help, and not trying to convince someone that they need to do something that they're not believing in, that they don't buy into. That's just foolish, right? You got to help clients with what they know they need help with. And there's a lot of ways to do this, but the way you got to do it is to introduce them to a problem that they may not even know that they had, to introduce them to the pain that that problem's causing, and to develop a point of view so you can be an industry expert, so you can be a trusted advisor. Don't expect them to raise their hand and say, we're in this pain, this is the #1 priority. If you get that, great. That just means your timing is good. You got a little lucky. That's fine. It's not luck because you put yourself in the situation to be there for the right timing, but that's not most clients. Most clients are not necessarily aware of the pain they might have, and it may not be a priority. So you got to show them why it's a priority and why what they're doing is actually causing them pain and preventing them from achieving their goals. That is your point of view. You're educating them and making them aware of a problem they didn't know they had and giving them a compelling reason to take action. Okay? 3 things that make a deal qualified. A strong answer on why they need to change. Quantified cost of inaction. Every month you wait, you are spending this much in preventing your business from achieving these goals. Why change? Number 1. Number 2 is why now? Why now? Why do you have to do this now versus next year or 2 years from now? If you don't have to do it now and there's no urgency, it's just going to get pushed. It's going to get deprioritized. And the third question you must answer is why you? Why is your company or product or service or solution unique to deliver the change they need in the time they need it? And if you can answer those things and help the client here, you got a real deal. And your close ratio will be 62% because that's what the top 20% of sellers do. They don't have huge pipelines. They have highly qualified pipelines, and they put their time, energy, and resources into making sure those deals actually close. It's not about quantity. It's about quality. So requalify your pipeline. And if you want to know a training on the 4 P's to really do this, pain, priority, power, and process. In other words, enrolling them in your process for getting to a proposal. You can watch the video right here on the 4 P's of qualifying. I'm Ian Koniak. Hope you have a great day.